Hello, everybody. Ooh, let me zoom out. Let me zoom out a bit. There we go. I am vlogging to you from the inside of my new house. It's not really my house. It's a house that I'm renting. And for those of you guys who have only seen up to my last update, I moved into a new place, into this lovely, lovely place with some new roommates. And if there's anybody out there who is new to the show, and you have no idea why I'm holding a camera against my own face, annotations everywhere. Episode 1, Episode 2, Episode 3, right there. Watch those. You'll get an idea of why I'm doing this to myself. And this is going to be a bit of a different video today. It is an update vlog, so I will update you on the status of the show. And then it's going to go off into some different subjects, into some perhaps heavier, darker subjects as I talk about the year 2012 in review. But first things first, episode 4, as you can tell, is not online. It is not up. It's been 6 months since the release of episode 3. And there's this little thing called graduation that is coming up for me in about 6 months. And with some stuff that happened to me in the summer, I had to make some choices and I had to reprioritize certain things. And, you know, I love the web show and it is the crux of my learning experience. It is. But I had to choose other things in front of that. It's not to say I don't love you guys, or my subscribers, or the show itself. But there's what's urgent, and there's what's important. And sometimes, well, hell, a college degree is pretty damn important, so sorry. But yes, that's why episode 4 has been so damn long in the making. But it is happening. If any of you guys know me personally, you know that I never, or at least almost never, say things without going through with them. It may not happen like I planned, but it usually happens. So I have meticulously I've logged everything that we shot for episode 4, given it fancy little labels and made sure everything was in sync in the right format. I've basically done the dirty work. And I've given it to somebody else to cut. They're going to do the first edit because I have 16 course credit hours next semester and an internship. And there's just no way I'm going to be able to there's no way I'm going to be able to touch episode 4 like I did with episode 3. It's just not going to happen. So it is coming. I'm going to say May 2013. That's really all I can say. I can't give you more, and I'm not going to promise that. So, that is the status of episode 4. Now you know. And we're going to talk about the year 2012 as we slowly come to the end of this year and into the next. I am going to look back on some of the stuff that's happened to me. And I feel very weird for saying this. And sometimes I wonder if, maybe not perhaps if something's wrong with me, but if people might think that I haven't dealt with things properly. But 2012 was honestly a good year. I say that having experienced something in the summer that was very tragic for my whole family. And I have often wondered, again, like I said, if the recovery from that moment has seemed insensitively, I don't really know how to describe it, but whether it seemed like my recovery, which has been it's honestly been very fast, even for, I know how fast I have recovered from that, whether or not I'm being insensitive. But for those of you guys who don't know, My brother passed away back in June, and I have been, when people have asked me about it in person, it's been a bit uncomfortable to talk about how, and I feel like that's not necessarily healthy for me, mainly because of the fact that I'm going to have to eventually look back upon that and acknowledge it for what it is. And so it's even hard now, but my brother committed suicide. And it happened out of the blue. It happened out of nowhere. It was very tragic. It was very sudden. And it happened at a very, very, very bad time for me. Right around the time when we got the news, I was so neck deep in work, in episode 3, in the Spill.con videos, all 3 of them, in that kind of work. I think I was cutting a friend's live music video performance. I was working at a terrible job. And I mean, not to say anybody at that job was terrible, but I was literally making less than the amount of rent I had to pay. And I was eating nothing but chili for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the past month. And I was barely making by, and I was working at this job that was working me like a damn warhorse. And I was not in the happiest place. And this thing with my brother came out of nowhere, and there was the only way to describe it was there's this big ball of not crap, but some of it was crap. This big giant ball of activity, of just think of it like a big bag of nerves, and just everything is shooting back and forth, activity nonstop, and I'm getting so stressed out. I'm like a computer that's about to overheat. And this thing comes along and it stops my life for a minute. And I took a break from everything. And I was very, very surprised at the kind of good spirit that my family chose to sort of accept this tragedy. And I was so very surprised at how much fun I was having with my family, who we came together over this thing that was so terrible. And yet I felt good. I felt good about a lot of things. I mean, I felt bad too, but I realized that my work, I am very work focused. I am. I want to be good at my job. I do. But I had let my own personal life suffer at the expense of just wanting to be good at my job. I have ideas and ambitions and things that I want to do, that I want to be a success for, but I wasn't really happy in a lot of other places. And so I dealt with everything. I dealt with the pain of losing my brother, and I came out of that very quickly. And it's very odd to describe that to people, but I just, for some reason, I knew that I was going to be one of the first people, not to necessarily say get over my brother's death, but that I was going to be one of the first people in my family to go through a day or two and not have my mood brought down by my brother's passing. So I came out of that moment appreciating my own my enjoyment, and the people that I grew up with and who had raised me, and the friendships I had, and I had to put my work on hold. So I finished episode 3, and I just kind of stopped. Said I would take a break for a week or two, and that became a month. And then school happened, and episode 4 kind of got pushed back. But I'm not guilty about it, because I was able to do things. I was able to make changes to my life to better myself in ways other than my career, in my social relationships, in my overall happiness. And I came out of this big tragedy with a new kind of appreciation for just my own well-being. And I made some decisions over the course of the semester that have been very good to me. I've chosen to think about myself better. I've learned to stop being so hard on myself. And here I am at the end of the year with this big web series on my shoulders, and one of the best casts I've ever worked with, one of the best crews I've ever worked with. And I want to do it. I want to do it again. But I've also never really been happier outside of set or the editing room. And I'm going to go ahead and stop talking now because my card just overheated. So that is the year 2012 in hindsight. Come away with some pretty big, career-centric successes. Episode 3, I consider a very big career-centric success. And then the later half of the year spent on much more personal, self-esteem issues, especially successes. So yeah, it's been a good year. It actually has been a good year. Not a perfect year, but a good year. I'm gonna go. My roommate's home. Bye.